Hey guys, interesting day so far. That is one of the few Russian prints that I have. If you caught some of the earlier videos, a long time ago I actually spoke semi-fluent Russian, thanks to a chemistry professor turned language professor at my university. That particular song is Dwie Gitary, two guitars. Similar, if you're from the US, to dueling banjos, maybe. One of those strange kind of days where I'm in the mood for that type of music. This particular video stems off of something I watched on a Joe Rogan podcast. If you're not familiar with Joe Rogan, I would suggest go checking him out. His podcasts are amazing. I'm sure you know him from MMA and Fear Factor and everything else, but his podcasts are super intelligent. And in this particular podcast, he was talking to Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith, whether you love him or hate him, he is one of the most creative people I've ever seen. And he does what he does because he wants to see it. Whether you like or dislike his movies, whether you Tusk or Yoga Hosers or any of the others, Clerks, every movie that he's made, he made because he wanted to see it, not because he thought other people would like it or anything else. It was his decision. It's what he wanted. And what he was talking about in the segment that I was listening to, he had taken his 70-year-old mother to see 70-year-old Dolly Parton in concert. And I won't get into all the details of the story, but it transitioned into his mother's view on death and how she was brought up as Catholic and she feared death since she was a kid, and she was always fighting to stave it off for her family, for herself. And what the whole conversation came down to is there are basically three types of people. One, that style that fears death, that is fighting just to avoid it. And then there's the second, which for most of my life I fell into. There's people that tell death to blow off. I have too much to do. There's too much more that I want to do. That, not really hating death, but or not being afraid, but more so hating it, more so feeling that it was unfair. And for a lot of my life, I tested the limits. I pushed. There is no reason on this earth logically that I should be sitting in this chair. I've been in 4 what should have been fatality car wrecks, and I've walked away with 2 chipped teeth and a broken hand. I've been shot at. I've done things to my body that would probably kill a horse. I've been taken to ICU twice with less than a 20% chance to come back, and that probably made it worse that I made it back from those as easy as I did, because it made me all that much more headstrong. Now the third is the person that has gotten to a point in life where they are relishing death, where they're waiting on it, where they're asking for it, because they've lost that will. There's nothing left that they want to accomplish. They feel they've done everything, or done everything that they can do. And I'm balancing at this point in my life between that second and third stage. Because of the doctor's appointment on Monday where they're trying to talk me into going to inpatient in a facility 3 hours from home, and because my body is failing in stupid ways, I need knee replacements and my back is trashed, and because of all the other stuff I've done, high blood pressure and a ton of other stupid physical disabilities, and because of choices I've made and where I've ended up now, it's a struggle to get anything done that I want to do. Even getting this video up, I'm at least breaking a few regulations, if nothing else, by the way I'm uploading these. Because I've gotten to that point where, I've had children, I've got grandchildren, I've done the soccer dad, I've coached basketball and t-ball, I have my dream jobs of DJing and working as a full-time sports writer. I have my own column. I've done a lot. And yet there's still stuff I want to do. This, talking to you guys, making videos, making other content that I can't afford to make yet. I still want to learn to play guitar. I played brass. I messed around with piano and organ. But strings are still something I'm interested in. I still have music that's in my head I want to make that, trust me, I've been trying for a couple weeks now, and it's this laptop and I are not getting along well. But it is a balancing act. There are days that it's just hard to see that point. And I know that's true for a lot of people. And whoever's listening to this, I'm sure you fall in one of the three categories. And most likely because you're watching this, you're probably in that second one. The one where you have stuff you want to do, where there's still things that intrigue you desperately. And I know I can still get back to that point. And I still have things I want to do with my younger children. There's still stuff that I'm going to do. But trust me, it gets harder. It gets harder to make those decisions as the other side starts to balance out. As you start to accomplish things and you've gotten stuff done that you wanted to do. When you've had some of your dreams come true. And oftentimes finding that next dream isn't as easy as the first or second or 100th. It's still out there. You just have to work harder. And I think that's the difference between a lot of people. A difference between the people that get where they want to be. Take Pentatonics, for instance. They had their first dream. They won a competition, a television show. They got a recording contract. When that contract was taken away, they could have stopped. They had gotten that point, but they decided it wasn't enough. There was more they wanted to do. And look where they're at now, and they're still pursuing more. My hope is I can keep that up. And I hope most of you will enjoy the journey. And actually, I really hope most of you will go check out that podcast, because it's Kevin Smith and Joe Rogan are two of the best storytellers I've ever heard. It's Kevin Smith especially. Any of his videos you should really go look at and listen to. The man has a very poignant view on life. And he has some really funny stories, including the Dolly Parton story, which is hilarious. And it ties into Pentatonics, and of course, because they won a Grammy with her. It's kind of why I made this video, because it's all tied together for me. Now, I hope I can keep this up. Patreon, GoFundMe, the minimal ad revenue from AdSense. And hopefully it'll all work out, because I really do enjoy this. And I know some of you enjoy the reactions, some of you enjoy just listening to me run my mouth. And some of you are just intrigued by a near 50-year-old man still messing around with the internet. Trust me, I'm still learning new things every day, and that's kind of sad for someone that sold domain names and ran the accounts for one of the biggest domain registers in the world. I've done a lot, seen a lot, and there's a ton more that I want to see and do. Hopefully you guys will be along for the ride. Now I know this is probably shorter than usual, but I don't have much of a choice. It's what I can get away with uploading. Guys, I love you all. I love the comments and the good wishes, and hopefully everything works out soon. If it doesn't work out soon, it'll work out when it's supposed to. Guys, thank you. Again, I love you all. Peace out.